fuel assemblies for all the major electrical utilities in the world. We have been delivering the heavy and mobile components needed for the nuclear island, as well as the instrumentation and control solutions. That we provide the maintenance and engineering services for more than 250 nuclear reactors around the world, and that we are participating in the construction of new reactors in France, China, Finland, and the United Kingdom. So yes, this is all for you. You who trust in the expertise, the experience, and the commitment of our 14,000 employees. Whether you be an electrical utility customer, engineer, new graduate, or simply a consumer of energy anywhere in the world, this film is for you, for each and every one of you, because you believe in nuclear energy, because you trust Framatome, because every day we are committed to serving our customers and working for energy that is competitive, reliable, and safe.
Hola. Olá, aqui é o Alexandre do suporte, a gente tem 5 minutos para entrar ao vivo, tá ok? 5 minutos na regressiva. Alguém pode levar. Eu estou fechando o áudio de todo mundo aqui. Podem levantar a mão para dar ok? Atenção, 5 minutos para ao vivo, tá ok?
Amazônia Azul, Tecnologias de Defesa S.A. A AMAZUL foi criada para desenvolver tecnologias para o Programa Nuclear da Marinha, Programa Nuclear Brasileiro e Programa de Desenvolvimento de Submarinos. O Programa Nuclear da Marinha tem o duplo objetivo de projetar e construir um reator de potência inteiramente nacional e produzir seu combustível. Essas tecnologias serão usadas no futuro submarino, com propulsão nuclear e também para a geração de energia elétrica. A AMAZUL participa do Programa de Desenvolvimento de Submarinos.
Na regressiva, tá faltando apenas 3 minutos, 10 horas, horário de Brasília, tá ok? Regressiva para 10 minutos, perdão, para as 10 horas, horário de Brasília, perfeito?
Sem energia nuclear e defesa. Os projetos em que atua ampliam o acesso de toda a sociedade a inovações e conveniências que ajudam a melhorar a saúde e qualidade de vida da população. A AMAZUL contribui ativamente para a geração de energia elétrica limpa para todos, fabricando, junto com a Marinha do Brasil, ultracentrífugas, usadas para o enriquecimento do urânio destinado às usinas nucleares, e trabalhando com a Eletronuclear na expansão da vida útil da usina nuclear Angra 1. Na saúde, a AMAZUL colabora para ampliar o acesso da população aos benefícios da medicina nuclear. Participa do programa de modernização do Centro de Radiofarmácia do Instituto.
Da American Nuclear Society, expressar nossa satisfação com sua presença. Gostaria de cumprimentar o excelentíssimo senhor doutor Paulo Roberto Pertuzzi, presidente da Comissão Nacional de Energia Nuclear do Brasil, e na pessoa dele, cumprimentar todas as autoridades aqui presentes. A LAS, a Seção Latino-Americana, está celebrando este ano seu 45º aniversário. O seu simpósio anual tornou-se uma tradição. E alternadamente realizado em vários países da América Latina. No ano passado foi na Argentina, o próximo ano será no México. De modo que mesmo sobre as extraordinárias condições causadas pela pandemia, não poderíamos deixar de organizar este simpósio. Espero que neste formato virtual, o simpósio atinja seus principais objetivos, que são integrar a comunidade nuclear latino-americana e discutir temas nucleares de interesse de todos os países da América Latina. Este ano, o tema do simpósio, escolhido pelo Comitê Executivo da LAS, é a gestão do conhecimento. Como se pode depreender do programa do simpósio, dá-se maior ênfase à gestão do conhecimento na área de desenvolvimento de recursos humanos e na manutenção do conhecimento na área nuclear. Para tratar desses pontos tão importantes para a área nuclear, reunimos representantes de autoridades estatais, da indústria e do meio acadêmico. Espero que o intercâmbio de informações e ideias durante os painéis seja útil para todos. Gostaria de agradecer imensamente as empresas e instituições patrocinadoras e apoiadoras do simpósio que possibilitaram a sua realização. Meus agradecimentos especiais aos palestrantes que atenderam atenciosamente ao nosso convite e meus agradecimentos ao comitê organizador do simpósio pelo esforço e dedicação para torná-lo realidade. Gostaria de passar a palavra aos integrantes da mesa de abertura, notando que só temos disponíveis 50 minutos para esta mesa. Dou a palavra à doutora Mary Lou Dunzik-Gougar, presidente da American Nuclear Society, e mais tarde, nesta mesma sessão, será uma keynote speaker. Doutora Mary Lou,
Dr. Mary Lou,
you have the floor.
You have the floor, please.
Bom dia.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me today.
Por ter-nos aqui hoje.
My name is Mary Lou
Eu sou Mary Lou Dunzik-Gougar. Eu sou presidente da American Nuclear Society.
Welcome to everyone.
Bem-vindos todos e muito obrigada por ter me convidado. Eu estou muito honrada de participar aqui nesse simpósio sobre a importância de conhecimento e de recursos humanos nessa área. Nós todos sabemos
difference in ages among our nuclear workforce.
Das diferentes idades da nossa força de trabalho nuclear e uma expressão que uma tsunami que está representando muitas pessoas que estão exigindo não muitas pessoas por trás deles que têm o conhecimento. Nesse problema desse novo cenário que é reconhecido localmente, eu participei num workshop que foi patrocinado pelo Laboratório Nacional. Os especialistas e participantes do governo todos estavam nesse simpósio, participando num workshop, transferindo seu conhecimento para as próximas gerações. Esse workshop tinha um enfoque no que tipo de informação tínhamos, e nós podíamos ver aqui o desenvolvimento histórico. Estou falando. na base original para... Desculpe, mas a transmissão está muito ruim, a gente não está entendendo metade do que a senhora está falando, porque está sendo cortada a transmissão dela. Esse simpósio tinha um enfoque em como nós podemos obter esse conhecimento, e isso é muito difícil. A função da American Nuclear Society no desenvolvimento de tudo isso é aumentar a comunicação entre todos, especialmente nesses assuntos. Webinars, mentoring, e também encontros para poder ter, então, esse tipo de conhecimento. E muito importante também, eu espero, então, com muita ansiedade, esse simpósio e poder aprender com todos vocês. Muito obrigada.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mary Lou.
Muito obrigada, doutora Mary Lou.
E agora eu dou a palavra ao presidente da Comissão Nacional de Energia Nuclear do Brasil, Dr. Paulo Roberto Pertuzzi.
Dr. Paulo Roberto Pertuzzi.
Muito obrigado,
Thank you very
Marco Mazo. Em primeiro lugar, eu gostaria de cumprimentar a presidente da Sociedade Nuclear Americana, a doutora Mary Lou Dunzik-Gougar, e também o presidente da seção latino-americana, o Dr. Marco Mazo, em nome de quem eu cumprimento todos os membros que compõem essa seleta mesa de abertura e também todos aqueles que estão nos honrando, participando efetivamente ou assistindo a esse evento. Muito obrigado a todos. O tema desse ano é a preservação e gerenciamento da tecnologia nuclear na América Latina. É extremamente importante e foi muito bem escolhido. Nós, na Comissão Nacional de Energia Nuclear, temos a exata percepção de quanto é importante não só prover a formação, os conhecimentos básicos e especializados na área nuclear, mas também preservar e transmitir esse conhecimento da tecnologia nuclear. Então, esse tema realmente é extremamente importante. Eu devo dizer que nós estamos trabalhando fortemente com outras instituições, muitas delas aqui representadas, as outras também, universidades, para que esse aumento, esse incremento, não só da formação básica e especializada, mas também do gerenciamento, da preservação do conhecimento, seja alcançado, seja mantido no Brasil. E nós esperamos uma grande integração com os outros países da América Latina e do mundo, porque essa troca de conhecimento é fundamental para o sucesso da área nuclear. Eu gostaria de congratular os organizadores desse evento, principalmente a Sociedade Nuclear Americana e a Seção Latino-Americana, a importância dos tópicos que serão discutidos e a qualidade e a capacidade dos speakers será visto nos próximos eventos, nos próximos dias. Então, em nome da Comissão Nacional de Energia Nuclear do Brasil e do Ministério da Ciência, Tecnologia e Inovações, eu desejo um grande evento a todos. Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado, Dr. Pertuzzi. Então, imediatamente, passo a palavra ao excelentíssimo senhor presidente da Comissão Nacional de Energia Atômica de Argentina, Dr. Osvaldo Calceta Larrier.
Energy Commission of Argentina, Dr. Osvaldo Calceta Larrier.
Buenos días a todos.
Good morning to all of you. It's a great pleasure and honor for CAS
en representación de la Comisión Nacional de Energía Atómica de Argentina, saludo muy especialmente a la presidenta de la American Nuclear Society, doctora Mary Lou, y a Marco Marzo como presidente de la LAS, y les agradezco que nos hayan invitado a participar en esta apertura,
in this opening session, where very
está
clearly
representado
it is represented,
prácticamente todas las autoridades
almost practically all the authorities are
de la
represented
energía nuclear
regarding nuclear energy in Latin America.
El tema escogido
The
este año
subject chosen for this year very clearly
un tema
is a subject very
no solo
important,
para
not
la región
only for the
latinoamericana,
Latin
sino
American
para todo el
region, but
mundo.
also for the whole world.
Y fundamentalmente se
And
basa
basically,
al menos en
it
Argentina,
is
y
based,
creo
at
que
least
es
in Argentina, and I believe
un síndrome
it's
parecido
a
en todo el
syndrome
mundo,
very similar in the
que
whole
hubo
world,
prácticamente
that
una
we
década y
had
media
practically a decade and a half
de los 90
since the 90s,
aparentemente hasta el
apparently
2005,
until
2006,
2005, 2006,
donde
where
la captación de recursos humanos
the capture of
fue
human resources
o muy escasa
was
o
very scarce
casi nula.
or practically void.
Y eso
And
implica
this
un gran
implies
desafío
a great challenge
de alguna forma de la gente que nos estamos
by
retirando,
all of us that are
de
retiring
transmitirle
in
a
order
las
to
nuevas
transmit to the new
generaciones
generations
nuestros
our
conocimientos,
knowledge.
que no siempre
Not always it's much, but I believe they're very important.
entonces
Therefore, I think it's very relevant
discutir
to discuss
cómo instruir
how to
a las nuevas generaciones
teach new generations regarding the nuclear subject on one side, and also transmit the best way possible our experience. And this very clearly implies in an effort, but it's an effort that is necessary. I believe that we all have similar ideas. And in the case of Argentina, we at this moment, we have many projects ongoing in the nuclear area, and in general the human resources to make this come true is our main concern nowadays. And on the other hand, we are also thinking not only having time, our concern is this. So therefore, I think that the best practices have to be taken in order to meet all these. So thank you very much for the invitation and for the participation in one of the panels. And I greet you all, and thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Calceta. Now we will pass the floor now to Mr. General Director of the National Institute of Nuclear Investigation of Mexico, Dr. Javier Palacios Hernandez. Dr. Palacios, please, the floor is yours. Good morning to all of you. It's a great pleasure and a great honor to be here with all of you today. My greetings to Marco and my appreciation for the opportunity to be with you today. A very deep greeting to Dr. Mary Lou of the American Nuclear Society and Dr. Luis Carlos Dolone of the International Body of Nuclear Energy. Also, my greetings from Mexico to all of you, and a great appreciation for this extraordinary event that we are organizing in difficult conditions in all Latin America and in the whole world. In this world that is more and more connected, we have noticed through this pandemic that the human capital, at least in the case of health, is the most important one. This subject of today's Congress is very important because we have learned in the nuclear industry to extend useful life of the plants and the mechanisms, but we cannot extend the life of capital, human capital. We have known how to solve the problem, how to bring up to 60 years old this knowledge that we have in this industry. In Mexico, we have facing this problem in a very serious approach for the last years, a result of the retirement of a lot of personnel from the plant of Una Verde, and also this change has made us to take immediate action in this transference of knowledge. Therefore, it's a great appreciation to Marco and to Latin American section of American Nuclear Society to bring this subject that is so timely and so necessary for the nuclear industry in Latin America. A great congratulations, Marco, and my greetings to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I pass the word now to Dr. Leonardo Santos Guimarães, and President of Eletronuclear. Thank you very much, Marco, for your words. Initially, I would like to greet Dr. Mary Lu, that she's my president and for ANS, and also to thank her presence here in this event. Another subject I would like to mention is to congratulate the organizers of the event. In the name of Marco, I would like to greet all of you that are participating, but I know that I have the idea of the difficulties to hold this kind of event and these special conditions that we're going through in this pandemic. I want to congratulate the efforts of all the team of LAS in order to make feasible this event, and surely it will be a great success. And mainly also I would like to greet the choice of the subject of the management of knowledge, because the subject is really, I joke with this subject saying that we're teaching people how to go on bike. The management of knowledge is always pedaling. If you stop pedaling, you just fall from the bike. So we have had, especially in Latin America, but in general in the whole world, a difficulty to maintain us on bikes and pedaling and implementing new projects. If we stop implementing new projects, or we don't consider this, the trend of knowledge is to fall from a bike. So the subject is very important, and I understand the management of knowledge is a great challenge to maintain a flow reasonably continuous without great interruptions and with new projects, because only through new projects we will be able to capacity build, manpower, and transmit knowledge from the past generations to the current generations. I think it's a challenge that we're facing here in Latin America and basically in the whole world, probably except China and Russia, considering the rhythm that they have, but all the other countries in the world have to have new projects, and this is important, and it's a very political activity and very difficult to be led in this environment where we have very few projects and very low investment in this area. In our case here in Brazil, the management, and mainly in the case of Eletronuclear, a Brazilian company that operates and builds nuclear plants, we are facing this challenge in a very concrete way. We have a very important subject of to extend the existence of Angra 1. And this has already been faced, but Dr. Calceta knows very well about this in the case of in-house. So we're going through the management of knowledge embedded in this extension of life of Angra 1 plant. That is a great challenge that we are trying to overcome it. For you to have an idea about this, the extended life of Angra 1 from 2004, and we're in a process of extending this lifespan for more 20 years, and this is in the process of licensing in the Commission of Nuclear Energy. So, apart from other challenges, the extension of the life of Angra 1 is a very important subject and based on the management of knowledge. We have another challenge also that we're facing connected to the management of knowledge and the transference of knowledge between generations. That is exactly the structuring of operation team of Angra 3. As you know, Angra 3 is a work that was paralyzed in 2015 by a number of reasons, and it's being retaken now. And within this subject, it's important to stress the assembly and the structuring of the future team of operation of this plant. And it's also a problem based on management of knowledge that is fundamental for this. And in parallel, we're also working with a great anticipation of what was done with Angra 1 to extend the life of Angra 2. So this transference of knowledge has to be done in a simple and structured way, different of what had been done for Angra 1, because the work started 4 or 5 years ago. This work must be started much more beforehand. So the management of knowledge is a subject of great importance for us in Eletronuclear, and I believe that it's a great importance for the operators of nuclear plants for the other countries of Latin America and Africa in Mexico. And all the 3 countries have problems of extension of their lifespan of the plants. So we study and think and work in the possibility of extending their nuclear plants, where we would upgrade a new layer of importance in the management of knowledge in this context of transfers of knowledge between generations. Therefore, I would like to congratulate the organizers for the choice of this subject, and I am sure that it is extremely enriching, and all the lectures of the speakers will be very interesting. Also, all the other panels that have been organized, and the agenda is very important, and surely we will, at the end, be better at the end of the symposium. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Leonan. Now I pass the floor to Dr. Carlos Freire Moreira, President of the Brazilian Nuclear Industries, INB. Good morning to all of you. I'd like to greet the President of ANS, Ms. Mary Lou,
President
of LAS, Mr. Marco Antônio Saraiva AMAZUL, and on behalf of whom I greet all the presidents of the companies and institutions that are here represented. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank initially the invitation to take part in the symposium which has a very relevant theme for companies and institutions, which is the preservation and management of knowledge of nuclear technology in Latin America. INB is responsible, as you know, to carry out all the phases of the nuclear fuel phases and provide to the plants in Angra dos Reis the fuel elements for its recharge. I usually say to our employees that they, with their experience and knowledge, are the biggest asset of this company. And so it's compulsory to think always on the preservation and the best way to manage our human resources, because this should be a permanent concern in our area of human resources and also in the of the board. The pandemic of COVID-19 has brought challenges that have to be resolved some way, and many of these challenges will still become known, but one of which has been our concern, which is the transfer of knowledge in our condition of home office. We have been working strongly in this sense and always trying to work with the education, with the human resource, valuing human resources, and trying to create means to keep these human assets who have such specific knowledge, which is difficult to find in the employment market. A company that needs this human resource and this knowledge have been working with that. It's very relevant, the theme of this symposium, because it will allow the debate and the exchange of experience and information, and it will allow us to improve in dealing with such important theme for our industry. I thank once more for the organizing committee of the event during this difficult moment we are facing, and we always say that in the difficult moments it's when we try to overcome the biggest barriers and we create stronger people to overcome them. Thank you very much. A very good event to all of us, and we have our doors open to contribute in this debate. Thank you, Dr. Freire. Now I pass the floor to Dr. Francisco Roberto Portela Deyana, Technical Director of AMAZUL Technologies of Defense, representing the President of AMAZUL, Dr. Antônio Carlos Soares Guerreiro.
Por favor, Diana, a palavra é sua.
I pass you the floor. Good morning to all of you. And thank you for the opportunity to take part in such important event. I'd like first greet also Dr. Mary Lou, President of Latin American Session, on behalf of whom I greet all the people present in this opening session. AMAZUL is a federal state company that has in its mission to develop and maintain technologies associated mainly with the nuclear program of the Navy and with the development of nuclear submarines and the Brazilian nuclear program. We know that the knowledge management, apart from everything that has already been said here, is very significant for the companies that need to apply nuclear technology. And we know that nowadays nuclear technology is much broader than just the supply of energy. We have a very vast field of application associated to agriculture, medicine, and several other fields of human knowledge. We know that to capacitate and develop technology is very difficult, and it's a very difficult work also. However, technological capacitation is very easy. Part of the companies that are represented here are associated to the states they represent. And we know how difficult it is to keep people working in projects and programs that are of long term and that will take many years to be implemented and developed. AMAZUL Technology and Defense, aware of such problems, to keep its capacitation, has developed for some years ago a method to better manage the knowledge of nuclear technology. So we intend throughout the symposium to show a work of mapping of competencies, of behavior competency in the nuclear energy sector, and we hope to be able to convey to those who are present in this symposium so that they can learn something of what we have done and contribute to the improvement of this work, which is so important to the company. So, I'd like to thank the opportunity to participate in this event and wish all of us a very good event. Thank you. I'd like to thank Dr. Diana, and I pass the floor now to Dr. Ivan Dibov, President of AMAZUL Latin America, which will be representing all the sponsors of this symposium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here with you, to be part of this event. I would like to take advantage to thank Dr. Marco Antonio Vasco and Frank Peixoto and all the other participation of LAS-ANS that are in charge of the organization of this symposium. In the name of Rosatom, I can say that it's a great honor to have the opportunity of supporting once again this initiative. We also have followed and participated in supporting the yearly symposium LAS in different countries of Latin America. And it's important to see that each year they have come with a regional framework in the exchange of technical knowledge and in the disclosure of information, to which I, in general, am included in this nuclear sector. With the spirit, I am sure that these 3 days of event, talking about the challenges imposed by 1 year of obstacles, we will be enabled to improve our knowledge and our participation in the importance of nuclear technology. A good event to all of you, and thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Bivoff. It's a great satisfaction also that I pass the floor to Mr. Executive Director of the Chilean Commission of Nuclear Energy, Dr. Jaime Gabriel Salascurte. Dr. Salascurte, the floor is yours. Thank you very much, Mr. President. My greetings to each of the participants. And for us, in first place, to have been invited as a speaker, in this case myself, regarding subjects that are central to our nuclear area. It's very important. For us, the management of knowledge mainly, it represents a requirement for development, and it's very important for the delivery of benefits that we're generating in the research and development world and its applications. Our mission, our commission is an organization centered exactly in what are the applications beyond the nuclear energy, and I talk about electricity, and this will concentrate in more than 50 years of institutional life. We are present in quality in our country in areas where our society demands to comply with their priorities, where science and technology in nuclear concept are very important. After these 50 years where we are dedicating ourselves to scientific and technological activity, to maintain and preserve and also transfer our knowledge is a central duty for sustainability. And therefore, everything that we're doing currently regarding this domain, that is the management of knowledge in the nuclear field, that represents for us one of our priorities. As you all know, the professionals and technicians that are dedicated to this activity during such a long time, they're starting to migrate. The evolution of society obliges us to have new knowledge to incorporate, at the same time protect and register the ones that have been produced. So therefore, the power, the importance to express our ideas, our perspectives in a Congress like this one is of an extreme importance for the Chilean Commission of Nuclear Energy. I hope that this Congress, this event, is of our greatest interaction in order to effectively feed ourselves on the perspectives of others that have similar challenges in the nuclear area. Therefore, thank you once again for the invitation, and obviously we're at your disposal to comply with our goals and to cooperate in whatever is necessary. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Salles, for your words. I am very happy that we had the participation of authorities from other countries in relevant nuclear activities in Latin America. It's a great satisfaction for us. And now I would like to thank you all for being here, that we are very honored. And now, in continuation to this opening session, I will pass now words of Dr. Jorge Spitalnik, that is the Secretary of the Latin America session of INES, that will be the moderator for the continuity of this session, where we will have two keynote speakers. Dr. Spitalnik, I pass the word to you, and I hope that this session will be very profitable for all of us. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marco Marzo. Now we will start with the presentation in the invited first, and I will show you part of each of them. Dr. Mary Lou, I will present her, introduce her in English.
make that membership more attractive to young people. On the board of directors of the American Nuclear Society a few years ago, before I was elected to serve as president, I was part of the group of people who looked at these trends, the downward membership numbers, the continuing negative budgets operating at a deficit. Were able to see the trends, and they passed the change plan in June of last year and the associated implementation plan in November of last year. The big objectives: more strategic fundraising, targeted spending, but ultimately to serve members. That is the purpose of a professional society. We want to stabilize the membership numbers and grow those numbers, and improve member benefits, back to bringing people in and showing them the value. Ago, we didn't know were possible, both virtual and in-person conferences. I think now, at this stage of the pandemic, we all are so lonely. We miss in-person interactions that are very valuable, both personally but also professionally. The ANS built its IT infrastructure from the ground up, which allows a lot more of these types of virtual interactions. And we developed a virtual meeting platform. Considering that in the US and worldwide, many of our usual activities shut down in March of this year, and considering that the American Nuclear Society staff had just undergone significant reorganization and some people being let go, it was a very stressful time, adding to it the COVID-19 pandemic, and then having to decide, what do we do about our annual meeting? We had to go virtual or just completely cancel, which would have been a huge disappointment for ANS members, but also a huge impact financially. So in those couple of months from March to June, for the first time ever, staff and volunteers put together a very successful meeting with more than 2,500 registrants. All sessions were recorded for later viewing, and it was so good that other institutions asked, how did you do that? For example, the Health Physics Society were very impressed. And just last week was our winter meeting, and it was even better than June. 2,600 registrants. At some times, there were almost 3,000 people participating. There were 3 plenary sessions, 100 technical sessions, 40 panel sessions. And we had co-chairs, the director of Argonne National Laboratory and president for operations for Exelon Generation. These types of exchanges are so important for knowledge management. Another aspect of professional society, such as ours, is building on what we've developed out of necessity, the virtual communications. We've had an increase of 500% of web programming in 2020. Obviously, that happened because people were stuck at home looking for more online interactions. But we provided a number of webinars on relevant topics. Uranium chemistry, for example, the primary and secondary education toolkit, a resume and CV workshop. There has been a series of highlighting national laboratories in the US and what happens in each lab, what are the capabilities, what is the cutting edge research. A webinar on nuclear economics and what the future of nuclear looks like. Microreactor, which designs are closest to being deployed, and how can they be used to develop clean energy systems. The case for small modular reactors and microreactors in Puerto Rico, and not just Puerto Rico, but remote locations that are vulnerable to storms, other natural disasters. In 2020, we have planned weekly webinars for our members. Another thing that a professional society can do to help transfer that knowledge and maintain that knowledge is to provide opportunity for members to publish and non-members. Transactions for meetings. Technical journals. We have 3 technical journals: Nuclear Science and Engineering, Technology, Fusion Science and Technology. Another important aspect, not as traditional for professional societies, but I think really important, is to keep the members informed about what's happening, not just through meetings, which are very important, but now as a member, you have free access to all of the technical journals. We have our trade publication, Nuclear News, which is now very much updated. I hope that you have noticed that as a member. It now looks like it belongs in 2020 as opposed to 1980. The ANS Nuclear Smart Brief. This is a daily email that contains new news headlines relative to nuclear. I encourage you to subscribe to that. It's quick and easy, 5 minutes every day, and you get an idea of what's happening. Because we get very focused on our daily jobs, as we should, but it's important to see what's happening in the broader world. The ANS newsletter, which is on the ANS website, is under development, and we expect improvements in 2021. But we look to this to be a very reliable one-stop news source for people interested in the use of nuclear. Another aspect of a professional society is to provide leadership opportunities. Again, we're thinking about developing younger people, bringing them along to their industry, and that means giving them opportunity to grow professionally, not only technically, but in terms of leadership. So there are opportunities, for example, to organize meetings or technical sessions or webinars. Most of our webinars for the ANS have been organized by our young members, and they are very good and very energetic. Even organizing social activities provide leadership opportunities to address questions that in the organization you must ask yourself. Well, what are the newest developments? What is of interest to the members, and what should the members want to know about technology, about policies? And that guides you in organizing. And again, helps you think in a broader way about nuclear. Obviously, there are opportunities to serve on governance committees that guide society efforts. Again, broadening your perspective. Public policy, that may seem not very technical or not very important to a technical society. But in fact, it's crucial to distill our views on very key topics. For example, the effect of low-dose radiation and the regulations that affect low-dose radiation, because dose regulation affects all aspects of nuclear, for example. And in distilling these opinions and being able to provide them to policymakers, decision makers, is very important. Another aspect that one doesn't necessarily think of is that professional societies play a role in accrediting programs at universities. So the American Nuclear Society trains evaluators through NET and sends them to universities all over the world to review their programs and approve them. If we expect to create a strong foundational knowledge in young people coming into the industry, we want to make sure that university programs are strong, and our society can play a role in that. Scholarships, again, supporting young people in the industry. If you serve on a committee that evaluates scholarships recipients, you can have a significant impact on the next generation of young people coming into the industry. And I think something that we are learning again in the pandemic, the value of interacting with people, one-on-one, casual conversations, spontaneous conversations. Those opportunities for networking are so valuable, but not easily quantifiable. Again, our young group in the American Nuclear Society has been very creative at developing opportunities in this pandemic time. Contests like pitch your PhD, promote your PhD in a 5-minute speech and win some support for your research. Student design challenges. We have had your trivia nights and virtual happy hours. It's very casual. It's an evening. We log in, everyone has a glass of wine, and we answer trivia questions. And I have met in these events that I would have never met otherwise, and learned so much about various aspects of nuclear that I never knew. Mentoring, how incredibly important. And mentoring can be done, of course, outside of a professional society. Some of the most successful nuclear entity generating companies, vendor companies that do the engineering design, they have very ardent mentoring programs. But through our society, we have mentoring opportunities that expand beyond the workplace of the person. And again, expose young people to other aspects of nuclear and experience of the mentoring. Again, all aspects of knowledge management, knowledge transfer. Another important aspect of the American Nuclear Society, and I think also very related to knowledge management, representing its members to non-nuclear companies. For example, the American Nuclear Society currently has a research and development task force, and they are diving into the current research portfolio, largely in the U.S., but not exclusively in the U.S., across the universities, the national laboratories, private entities doing research, and evaluating what needs to come next for a broader long-term look, up to 10 years. Because in the U.S., the elected governments rotate every 2 to 4 years, and the funding tends to not look much beyond those 2 to 4 years. So it fell to our society to say, somebody needs to look longer term, to give some guidance to the policymakers and the funders of research as to what we need to get to that next critical point in development of nuclear energy in particular. We have planned for engagement with our new Congress and presidential administration in 2021. We are developing a crisis communications and rapid response capability so that when something happens and we are contacted by media, we are ready to react quickly with appropriate and factual, accurate information. All too often, when something happens containing the word nuclear, the people who are ready to respond very quickly are not expert at all. And in 2021, we will begin our campaign called Nuclear in Every Classroom. I want to elaborate on that. So, every classroom, are primary and secondary education actually important? I mean, are they relevant to nuclear knowledge management and human resource development? I ask you to consider that most students leaving secondary school will not go on to study nuclear or work in the nuclear industry. But most secondary school graduates will go on to vote, pay taxes, influence choices about sources of electricity. Primary and secondary teachers impact every student and their parents. Every young person in our country goes through primary and hopefully secondary school. And more students introduced to nuclear at an early age, in turn, means more students ultimately that will pursue careers in nuclear, education in nuclear. Among the most significant achievements, I believe, that the American Nuclear Society has made in recent years, and something I'm very proud of, is the Navigating Nuclear curriculum materials. So I wanted to introduce those to you. Given the materials are in English, no doubt they could be readily translated because the activity, the lessons are. The curriculum material is called Navigating Nuclear, Energizing Our World. And it is very current, standard in primary and secondary nuclear science and technology education. So what is it? Well, again, it's primary and secondary, what we say in the US, K-12, nuclear energy and science curriculum. It is fact-based. It includes lessons, science, technology, engineering, and math projects, STEM projects, information about careers. There are virtual field trips. And all of this material is free. It's available to anyone worldwide. So I've listed there the web address, but you can also find it through the ANS webpage. The goals of this curriculum material? Well, very importantly, to clarify common misconceptions surrounding nuclear science and explore its current and future role in technological applications. Build understanding of nuclear. Get across to students the value of nuclear. And all of those things really should lead to, if not only a higher knowledge level, but maybe also inspiration for students for future careers in the nuclear field. The way we got there was, well, we wanted nuclear energy education in every school in the US, ultimately in every school in the world. The challenge, well, I think as in many places on the globe, the education system isn't as consistent across all geographic areas, all governmental areas, local areas. So the solution that we developed was to partner with some curriculum specialists. We were the specialists in nuclear technology. We needed specialists in curriculum. So Discovery Education was our partner of choice. They are the leader globally in creating digital education material. And they're well known, especially related to science and technology. And they publish digital science textbooks. So our key to success, well, our society committed to this. And it was certainly a big commitment. We had to raise quite a lot of money from various entities, including the Department of Energy eventually, but we started with just private donations to develop the material. The virtual field trips are by far the most popular. These are real-time virtual events that highlight people at these facilities and also places. So the first field trip was a generating station, Palo Verde. We did Idaho National Laboratory early this year, was released. It was filmed late in 2019. And next year, we're going to look at the various aspects of nuclear, land, sea, and space, which I'll leave to your imagination. It'll be released soon. There are digital lessons that include guides for the educators, which I think is so crucial because most educators in primary and secondary don't know nuclear, maybe not even are comfortable with nuclear. And so giving them some guidance. And that's the role we can play as nuclear professionals. We can help. We can be the technical consultant, if you will, for educators. There are slide presentations, student activity sheets. There are also videos that are targeted to the educator, not to the student, but to the educator to teach them things they need to know or to give them ideas about how to teach the material. There are project starters. And again, these materials are not specific to the US. They really are global. It gives the opportunity, these project starters, for students to apply content knowledge to real world problems. And that's so much what we're looking for in our students, is going from the theoretical to solving real world problems. And students really want to do that. They want to change the world. The career profiles are so valuable to teachers and to students because they may not know somebody who works in the nuclear field or is an engineer or a radiochemist, but it introduces these fields and opens ideas. And in the virtual field trips, there are additional careers profiled. What have our results been? And why would you consider this? So first, we released the upper primary or middle school curriculum that was launched in 2018. And during that first academic year, we had more than 500,000 students taking advantage of that material. Now we have available the lower primary and secondary materials. And to date, we've had more than 1.5 million students who have accessed or been exposed to this material through their teachers. Discovery Education is very good at monitoring access and how things are accessed. So they know that not only are the Discovery Education field trips the most popular of their materials, they also know they're the most popular of our materials. We've had more than 50,000 views of our 2 field trips so far. And from 2019 to this year, we've had viewings raise 3,000%. Again, obviously that's because of the pandemic, but we were there. We had material available and people were hungry for it. And so perhaps to some extent, we have benefited in that regard from the pandemic because now people are looking for such things as virtual field trips. And the Idaho National Lab video is the second most popular of all the discovery videos across all the disciplines, which of course is really surprising, but also really exciting that students are so excited about what kind of research is going on in these various nuclear fields. Google Classroom is the top referring domain to our materials. And what that translates to is that we know teachers are actually embedding these materials into their lessons. So I think it's important for us to never underestimate the power of the primary and secondary education, the influence of teachers on students, the influence of children on parents when they come home and talk about what they did in school today, and the basic understanding of nuclear and its benefits for all people. The more we can build the fundamental knowledge of our citizens in nuclear, the more we enable the nuclear industry, the flow of new people into the field of nuclear, and that continual exchange of knowledge in nuclear. So I encourage you to join us in the Nuclear in Every Classroom campaign. While it is a long-term investment to support our nuclear industry, I think it's an incredibly important investment that shouldn't be underestimated. Thank you very much. I welcome questions, and I thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today.
May I now? I would like to start with the questions. And I encourage everybody to, if you have questions, to put them in the chat. I have 2 questions. One is, the nuclear industry in the States is losing people after so many years of work. They are losing people on retirement. Is the system of universities, schools, and so on, is that system providing the manpower that is being depleted by retirement? This is one question. And this is I am putting this question because in this part of the world, it might not happen that way. Please.
Okay. It's a good question. And you are right that sometimes there is a disconnect between what employers want and what universities produce. I can tell you that when students leave my university, they all have multiple job opportunities. So clearly there is a demand for these students. And while during the 1990s, many university nuclear programs shut down, now the nuclear programs that survived or are new are overpopulated. So many students in the programs. The question you ask is, are we providing enough people? And the answer is, depending on who you ask, you get a different answer. It's a curious phenomenon. So one of the things that ANS is going to undertake in the coming year is trying to pinpoint what are the workforce needs, because there's no one entity that seems to know the answer to that. And it seems ANS is well placed to interact with employers, universities, to try to connect the two a little bit better. It is a challenge in the US. Of course, all the nuclear power generation companies are private and spread all over. And all of the education institutions are governed by state, and there are 50 states. So it's a huge organizational challenge.
Thank you. I have a question here. You have a spectrum of nuclear technology activities, agriculture, energy, medicine, and so on. What do you think is the most sensitive one to convince people of the importance of each field?
That's a great question. And it's something I have thought about very much in the last year and a half since I have been elected. I have an opportunity in my position and for just a very short time to speak to groups like yours and share my message. I think among the most important messages is that as nuclear professionals, we speak statistics. We think in numbers, and numbers convince us because we are technical. But the average person is not convinced by statistics, by numbers. So in medicine, for example, talking about the number of medical procedures that rely on nuclear technology is not impressive to people. But telling a story about your aunt or your sister or your mother who got a medical procedure that was nuclear medicine and it saved them, those things are most convincing. The same thing with nuclear power. What are the benefits of nuclear power? Well, it's reliable, it's inexpensive, it's not emitting any sort of gases into the atmosphere. Emphasizing the benefits are so important. Most people don't recognize, for example, benefits in agriculture, benefits in other industrial applications. But they understand electricity, they understand clean air, they understand the importance of medical. And so my suggestion is don't cite statistics, but rather share stories. I've been trying to learn more about how you effectively communicate risk, because people are concerned about risks of nuclear. They don't really know why. People actually believe that radiation from a nuclear power plant is more dangerous than radiation from radon, but they're the same. So we have to listen to what people are saying, try to understand their concerns, build the trust, build your credibility by that listening and understanding, and really talk to people's concerns. That's my general suggestion, but I think it's something I have learned recently that I have taken to heart, and I've seen it work.
Thank you. I am looking for other questions. In the meantime, I would like to ask you whether we could get the Latin American section, the video of Idaho University that is so well, so popular in the States.
Oh yes, the Idaho National Laboratory?
Idaho National Laboratory.
Yes, you can. And that virtual field trip is available with the Navigating Nuclear curriculum. So navigatingnuclear.com, and you will find the virtual field trips and all of that material.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, if we don't have any further questions, I would like to thank Mary Lou for such an important and interesting speech that we have gotten, and ask you to remain with us to listen to the next speaker, and then if some other question arrives on what you have told us, then I will give you the floor again. Thank you, Mary Lou. Good. Now I would like to get on with the introduction of our next speaker, Luis Carlos Longoria Gandara. Luis, you are here. I am very pleased to see you again. We have been also working together in the past, and I would like now to tell you some data about the bio of Luis Carlos Longoria. Dr. Luis Carlos Longoria is the director of the Division for Latin America and the Caribbean in the Department of Technical Cooperation at the IAEA. He holds a master's degree in nuclear technology from Surrey University of the United Kingdom and a PhD in nuclear physics from Imperial College London. That means we are colleagues from the Imperial College. Prior to joining the agency, he was the director of scientific research at the Mexican Nuclear Research Institute. I presume is ININ in Mexico. Javier Palacios is here just to confirm all what I am saying. In this capacity, Dr. Longoria was responsible for directing and developing scientific and technical research related to nuclear reactors. Particularly, he was responsible for the work done on the surveillance of the reactor vessel materials of Laguna Verde nuclear power plant. Dr. Longoria has been university lecturer for more than 25 years, and today he is a member of Mexican prestigious engineering and science academies. It is my pleasure now to give the floor to Luis Carlos Longoria to present his speech. Please, Luis Carlos. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone. I would like to share the screen. Can you see the presentation?
No.
Sorry.
I'm asking the support to put the screen for his paper.
I sent my presentation, but if not, I can share it from my computer. Let's see.
Could you share? Luis?
I'm trying to, let's see. Let's start again, share screen. It won't let me share the screen.
Please soporte, por favor, él no está consiguiendo abrir share.
Puedo abrir el share, pero no lo puedo compartir.
No está consiguiendo compartir a presentación. ¿Pueden vocês ayudar?
Still not. Hello. Support, can you see my presentation?
We don't see it.
Sorry, because I say share screen, and then
Mr. Longoria, let me try to help you.
Okay.
Luis, puedes mandarla por email para Orpet y él.
Ya se la mandé esta mañana.
Yo la tengo.
Orpet,
Spitalnik, yo la tengo. Let me try to do that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes. Ele mandou com cópia para cima. Espera aí, deixa eu...
Apareceu.
Okay.
There is an echo. What can we fix it?
Are you seeing your presentation on the screen?
Yes, yes, okay. I can see it now.
Okay, okay. Now, Luis,
just a second.
You can go ahead.
I have to move. Whenever you want to flow, please say next.
Obrigado.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll start now. Is the sound okay?
Yeah, the sound is okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this important event, joint event from the ANS and LAS. Muchas gracias, obrigado. I'm going to talk about the technical cooperation program and how the agency through this program supports the nuclear knowledge in Latin America. Next. Well, first of all, just a quickly reminder of what the objective of the IAEA is. The motto is Atoms for Peace and Development. So, in other words, our aim is to accelerate the use of atomic energy for peace, health, and prosperity. The TC program is the Technical Cooperation Program, is the major vehicle for the IAEA to deliver these services to the member states. The TC program helps the member states to build capacities, provides the necessary mechanism to provide safe and peaceful use of nuclear technology for the socio-economic development. Next. We work in several thematic areas. There are several areas like water, environment, food and agriculture, energy, radiation technology, health and nutrition, and safety. And across all these thematic areas, there is always two things: safety and nuclear knowledge management. Next. What types of services does the program provide? Well, we provide training, fellowships, scientific visits. We send expert assistance to the member states. We also help people with materials, equipment, and a lot of conferences and symposia, seminars, and last but not least, training courses and workshops. As you can see, our main objective through this technical cooperation is mainly human resource capacity building. We also provide some equipment and materials, but mainly we develop capacities in the member states. Next. Next, please. How do we do this? Well, first of all, the technical cooperation program is member states driven, and that means that the member states decide what priorities they have in the several areas. We do this through a document called the Country Program Framework. That means that every country that receives technical cooperation signs a document with the agency where it stipulates what are the priority areas for the country. This CPF, this program is linked to the national development plans so that everything is joined and together. We also have the regional strategic profile. For example, the agenda ARCAL 2030. ARCAL, as you know, is an agreement of member states in Latin America and the Caribbean for the use of nuclear technology. It's composed of all the countries that want to be members of this agreement, and together they decide what is the strategy to follow through this regional strategic profile. Next, please. In Latin America and the Caribbean, there are 31 member states that have national programs. That means every country has submitted projects in a national capacity. As I mentioned before, these projects are guided by what is established in the country program frameworks, and also linked to the strategic profile for Latin America and the Caribbean. And the projects submitted by ARCAL countries, they submit them as regional cooperation program. We also foster triangular cooperation and sub-regional approach for member states. Next. In general terms, how the budget for the Latin America and the Caribbean is distributed according to thematic areas. Well, health, nutrition, food and agriculture, and safety and security take about 3/4 of the whole budget. We also have other applications like industrial applications and technology, energy, water, and environment. But in all of these areas, the nuclear knowledge component is present, not separate, but embedded in every project that we have. Next. Now, talking about the technical cooperation program and the contribution to nuclear knowledge management in Latin America and the Caribbean, well, first of all, what do we understand for nuclear management? Next. Well, I mean, we all been working and that the experiences in running industry, supporting organization, education, training, etc., all was in place, and it's been in place for many, many years. And the way it was done was shared with everybody, but sometimes it was not systematic and probably was not comprehensive. So nuclear knowledge management aims at improve this systematic and comprehensive approach. Next. We have dedicated regional nuclear knowledge management projects since 2014. Promoting and developing nuclear education, training, and human resource capabilities, supporting and developing education and human resource networks and institutions in member states, developing nuclear knowledge management guidance and advice. Why do we need nuclear knowledge management? Well, there is a significant loss of expertise in the nuclear and other nuclear technology sectors. There is a special difficulties in ongoing life extension programs across the region. The nuclear workforce now moving into the second and third generation for some nuclear facilities. How do we try to cover these challenges? Well, through regional projects mainly, but there are also national projects. In the current cycle, that means 2020, 2021, we have 3 projects. One is supporting education and nuclear institutions. Other is supporting nuclear power plants. And the third one is the continuation of the national nuclear institutions. Next, please. We aiming at two levels, the national and regional level, and also at the organizational level. Looking at the wider education requirements on a national or regional level, supporting young generation in key aspects of the nuclear sectors, like leadership, strategic planning, and how to attract talent to the nuclear careers. At the organizational level, we look at topics like knowledge management in the organization through missions across a lot of ranges like NPP operators, regulators, etc. We also enhance the sustainability of the business plans, and we promote the leadership in all and management skill in all these areas. Next one. Specifically, the project furthering knowledge management implementation and strengthening nuclear education. Next one. What are we trying to achieve? Well, we want to deliver knowledge management through assist visits. The target audience is member states organizations interested in nuclear capacity building. We also have the Nuclear Knowledge Management School, and the target experts are the experts in developing and implementing nuclear management activities. And finally, we have an education network, LAS-ANS, and the target audience are regional and national educational institutions. Next, please. The knowledge management assistance is you can see that we have what we call a Tech Doc series, and it's called Planning and Execution of Knowledge Management Assist Visits for Nuclear Organization. You can get this document from us. And it's basically designed to assist members and nuclear organizations to have a pragmatic knowledge management methodologies and contribute to safety and business objectives. We have divided this in 3 levels. The first one is assist organization to develop strategic knowledge management programs. The second one is organize and to help organize the existing nuclear management programs. And the third one, providing specific targeting consultancy services to address specific knowledge management issues faced by the nuclear organizations. The next one. Well, the knowledge management areas of self-assessment, we can distribute it in several ones. We have 8 areas. You can see that ranges from policy, strategy, capture of transfer of knowledge, technical solution, collaboration, organization, culture, etc. Those are the areas. Those are not just the only ones, but we divided like that. Next one. Talking about the Nuclear Knowledge Management School, is a school with an integrated approach that includes planning, modeling, and knowledge movement through organization, succession management, coaching, monitoring, and mentoring for nuclear knowledge management. Next, please. The educational network, LAS-ANS, is a very interesting initiative that involves a network of institutions interested in nuclear education, and is done at the regional level at Latin America and the Caribbean, and is aimed to help preserve and promote nuclear knowledge and foster the knowledge transfer through Latin America. The membership is open to universities, national education networks, research centers, governments, and other institutions. But what do we want to achieve with this? Next. For example, there is an initiative called Nucleando. This initiative is implemented in partnership with the Spanish Forum and the CNEA. This is within the framework of the same project of LAS-ANS, and intends to disseminate and make popular projects throughout Latin America and the Caribbean in order to reach a greater number of teachers. We are aiming at teaching at teachers that are, for example, teaching physics or nuclear technology, and trying to get as many students at the level of secondary school, maybe the end of primary school, and we want to attract young talents to this by disseminating this information sharing, fostering innovative use of information technology and advanced virtual tools, and trying to promote an exchange and dissemination of information and materials. Next, please. Some of the events that we carried out lately in this initiative of Nucleando. We had an event in Costa Rica at the end of August 2019. Then in Uruguay this year, Chile in August, Colombia in November, and last one will be in Mexico in December this year. The knowledge management assist visit, we had one in CCHEN in Chile in November this year, and is a program, another one for August next year. All these activities are aimed at those teachers that can at the same time disseminate and be able to convey the knowledge of nuclear technology at, as I said, secondary and primary schools. Next, please. Regarding nuclear power plants, well, we have a program, a regional project for supporting nuclear power plants for the aging management, preparation for safe long-term operation, and safety culture project. This is aimed at the countries that have currently nuclear power plants, but in some cases can be used also by countries that have nuclear research reactors. Next. The project for this preparation of safe long-term operation, the target audience is the member states that have, as I said, nuclear power stations, and they are interested in nuclear capacity building. And the Nuclear Energy Management Foundation School targets young people that are going to be leaders in the future and manage the nuclear energy sectors. This Nuclear Energy Management Foundation School has been going on for some time. Next one. The Nuclear Management School, the main contents can be distributed in this slide. What the IAEA and the nuclear technology does, what are the services, what are the nuclear applications, and introduction of nuclear power. And then what the key issues and challenges of the whole nuclear industry. Well, climate change, integrated approach, management and leadership in nuclear organization, and stakeholder involvement and public communication. Another area will be nuclear law, nuclear safety, nuclear security, and nuclear safeguards. National nuclear legislation is also something that we looked at. Nuclear technology and life cycles, well, we look at advanced nuclear power technologies, new nuclear builds, basic principles of nuclear power and plant operation, some thematic areas related to radioactive waste management, and the complete nuclear fuel cycle. So as you can see, very many topics. Next, please. Some of the activities that for this project we have planned a regional foundation school for next year in Brazil, starting May. And we also have the knowledge management assist visits for Laguna Verde in April next year, and for Eletronuclear, Brazil, and the fourth quarter for next year. Next one. Related to the regional project for promoting strategic management and innovation at nuclear institutions through cooperation of partnership buildings. This is the second cycle of this project that started 2 years ago. Now, currently, is going through the year 2021. Next. What are we trying to get with these regional projects aimed at national nuclear institutions? Well, things like increased awareness amongst decision makers and managers about the need to align the research and development programs with national and development programs, conduct self-assessment and identify, address, and persistent weaknesses, and take advantages of growth and development opportunity. The IAEA assists nuclear national institutions in the region by disseminating guides and providing assistance for sustainability of nuclear national institutions. But basically, the main objective is that we are able to share good practices among the nuclear institutions in the region. Many of the regional institutions have the same challenges or very similar, and can learn from each other and have some synergy between the several institutions. We work with the institutions in Latin America and the Caribbean, but also we work with institutions in other parts of the world. For example, at this very moment, a training course is going on in Argonne National Laboratory, and is aimed at the young and future leaders that can will be working in the nuclear and technology sectors. Next. We also would like to help the member states by mapping the services and identify what are the challenges national and regionally in Latin America and the Caribbean. And as I say before that, by facilitating the cooperation between the institution is a very good way of increasing the sustainability of these services and contributing to more socio-economic development of the region. Next, please. What are the expected outputs of this project? Well, have a digital map that will recognize, and you can immediately see the situation of the region and recognize the strengths and services of the national nuclear institutions. Also, we will expect to develop evaluation models and guides and feasibility studies, and qualified and competent human resources at different management level. And something that is very, very important, especially in the nuclear power system, is the efficient communication at different levels and different areas. Next one. We expect to get the outputs by evaluating guides and doing feasibility studies. We will generate complementary documents for the milestones and sustainability of existing business models, and help to create capacities for training in economic and feasibility studies. Next one. Some of the main events in this project, as I mentioned before, we have right now, today, training in strategic planning management. It's going to go from today till February next year. Strategic communication, starting in October and finishing December this year. And then dissemination of the self-assessment guide this month. Capacity building, business model, and business plan. And before I finished, I would like to make some general comments regarding the human resource component in our program. More than 60% of our budget in the technical cooperation goes to human resource development. That means we can train people from a PhD that have in some countries. Currently, we opened recently a PhD in China. We have a master in nuclear engineering in Korea. We have courses, all these are academic courses with organizations in the different countries. We have courses in safety in Argentina, medical physics in Trieste, oncology in Chile. We got safety school, and every year we have the nuclear law school. The challenges that we have, especially these times, and what we have learned with the pandemic is that we can do more with less through virtual training. We in the past, we were having, courses for 20, 25 people. Now there are hundreds of people at the same time. Now the effectivity of this has to be checked. Not in all cases. This can be done virtually, and it has to be a component of physical and virtual all the time. But in other cases, we have learned that a lot of the courses need like the background, and this background can be got in most cases through virtual training before you go to a physical training. But we are learning on this new way of delivering training. We haven't been able to travel to Latin America and the Caribbean for the whole year practically, but we haven't stopped doing seminars, webinars, training, and so on. And we also are implementing expert visits. This virtual expert visit we hadn't done before. Always had been physical expert visits. Now we are trying these virtual expert visits, and we will see. I'm sure we will have a lot of learning to do, and it's a real challenge. I would like to finish and to just share with you some of the concerns that we have, and as much as we see that in our region of the world, and it's not the only one, a lot of the people are retiring, and some of the capacity could be lost. So how can we foster, how can we use this capacity that is there, is still there, I don't know, through some mentoring programs, or how can we help using this wealth of knowledge that exists in many countries, and they are not at the moment in let's say in an active employment. But there is something that we can talk about it, and the agency is willing to help by assisting the student to attend these courses or events or academic courses. I leave it there for now, and I would like to thank once again to the organizers of this important event for inviting me to give this talk. Thank you very much, and I'm open to any questions in Spanish or English.
Well, thank you, Luis Carlos, for this relevant and comprehensive presentation of the IAEA efforts in nuclear knowledge management. I have a question here, and I invite all members participating in these discussions to make the questions now through the chat page. The question that has been put forward is, does the Technical Cooperation Department share its expertise on knowledge management with other IAEA departments? This is one of the questions.
Well, the Technical Cooperation Program is a joint program between the Department of Technical Cooperation and other technical departments. So it's a one-house approach on this. yes, we can we have some lessons that we can learn, but is designed to have a one-house approach by cooperating the technical areas, the implementation areas, the law areas, and the administrative areas as well. So yes, we collaborate.
Okay, I am waiting for other questions. In the meantime, I would like to call the attention of the IAEA and the LAS-ANS people that the Latin American section has a student division, and this student division gathers nuclear students from all Latin American universities. So if you could inform LAS-ANS people that this division exists, it is the students pay no amount of money to get in the division, and it helps to networking of students. This is one thing that you might help us in informing the LAS-ANS people.
On the contrary, it's a very good initiative. We really need to disseminate these possibilities, especially for young people. For example, very recently, our Director General Grossi started an internship called Marie Curie program. This is aimed at supporting young women in nuclear technology. We are providing 100 scholarships for MSc courses anywhere in the world, and it's very good. It covers the registration fees as well as maintenance cost, and you know, sometimes we don't get enough candidates, and it's not because they're not there, it's because we don't reach there. So by linking our communication with you, with the societies, and with the institutions in Latin America, we can reach more people, so that they are aware of all the possibilities that there are to be trained in nuclear technology. I think that these days is one of the best times to actually study nuclear-related subjects, anything from a master course to a PhD sandwich course, a specialist or diploma, etc., etc. I'm sure you can find it, and not only that, in many cases, you get a grant to do that.
Thank you very much, Luis. I have no further questions. I have a question here. Just two questions. Wait a moment. Do you envisage any partnerships with professional associations like ANS? Second question, do you think it is easy to apply the original concepts of knowledge management in general that are valid for every company that from every company to the nuclear knowledge that is that would be more sensitive in some industries? Do you think it works without specific tools applied to nuclear knowledge? This is a question as well. The first professional associations is the first question.
Yeah.
And the other.
Yeah. I think that, yes, we can increase the cooperation with the professional association in Latin America, in the Americas in general. For example, in many cases, we need to get an expert in a specific field, and we go around looking for one of them, whereas we could go directly to the professional societies organization and find the candidates there. So yeah, that's one of the things that we can do to have a better communication and sharing of information between our program and the professional institutes. Regarding the second question on nuclear knowledge management, well, of course, there are some specific topics, some specific activities that have to be done specifically for an organization or for a task, etc. But there are many other strategies that can be applied in general for all the organization. And it's a good idea to learn from others and to implement those good ideas in the national or regional area. Rather than start from zero, we can all learn from what's happening with the others and implement it in our specific cases. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Luis Carlos. And with this, I think we have completed this session on invited speakers. Thank you, Mary Lou, again, and thank you, Luis Carlos, again. And now I give the floor to our President, Marco Marzo, for the following points. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mary Lou. Thank you, Dr. Luis Longoria. It was a very interesting presentations, very comprehensive. I think it was very useful for us. And now we will restart the next session by 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. And then I close this session, thanking very much for the presence. It was an honor to have all of you here with us. Thank you so much.
Obrigado.
Thank you very much.
Orpet, did you want to say something?
Yes, during the lunchtime, there will be videos running at the channel, videos from the sponsors, okay?
Thank you.
If you want to see, please connect yourself, have fun.
Thank you very much, Orpet, for helping me with my presentation. Really, you saved my bacon.
Good.
Thank you, and very nice seeing you all. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Amazônia Azul, Tecnologias de Defesa SA. A AMAZUL foi criada para desenvolver tecnologias para o Programa Nuclear da Marinha, Programa Nuclear Brasileiro e Programa de Desenvolvimento de Submarinos. O Programa Nuclear da Marinha tem o duplo objetivo de projetar e construir um reator de potência inteiramente nacional e produzir seu combustível. Essas tecnologias serão usadas no futuro submarino com propulsão nuclear e também para a geração de energia elétrica. A AMAZUL participa do Programa de Desenvolvimento de Submarinos, cuja missão é garantir a soberania no território marítimo brasileiro e proteger as imensuráveis riquezas que ele abriga. A AMAZUL tem o compromisso de entregar à nação tecnologia, conhecimento e profissionais capacitados em energia nuclear e defesa. Os projetos em que atua ampliam o acesso de toda a sociedade a inovações e conveniências que ajudam a melhorar a saúde e qualidade de vida da população. A AMAZUL contribui ativamente para a geração de energia elétrica limpa para todos, fabricando, junto com a Marinha do Brasil, ultracentrífugas, usadas para o enriquecimento do urânio destinado às usinas nucleares, e trabalhando com a Eletronuclear na expansão da vida útil da usina nuclear Angra 1. Na saúde, a AMAZUL colabora para ampliar o acesso da população aos benefícios da medicina nuclear. Participa do programa de modernização do Centro de Radiofarmácia do Instituto de Pesquisas Energéticas e Nucleares, o IPEN, que produz radiofármacos para todo o país. E projeta, em parceria com a Comissão Nacional de Energia Nuclear, o reator multipropósito brasileiro, destinado a pesquisas e produção de matéria-prima para radiofármacos usados no diagnóstico e no tratamento de doenças como o câncer. O empreendimento tornará o Brasil autossuficiente na fabricação desses medicamentos. As tecnologias desenvolvidas pela AMAZUL podem ser utilizadas na irradiação de alimentos para eliminar substâncias nocivas e aumentar o tempo de conservação, o que protege a saúde do consumidor, reduz o desperdício de alimentos e amplia os ganhos do agronegócio, uma das maiores fontes de riquezas do país. A irradiação é usada também em cosméticos, medicamentos, insumos da área médica e até na preservação de livros, obras de arte e documentos históricos. No setor nuclear, a empresa está capacitada para atuar em projetos e serviços de engenharia, comercialização de produtos, comissionamento de instalações nucleares, operação e gestão de empreendimentos e gestão do conhecimento. A AMAZUL criou um premiado modelo de gestão do conhecimento que está sendo aplicado em unidades nucleares e poderá ser replicado em outros tipos de empreendimentos.
Os projetos e programas que contam com a participação da AMAZUL contribuem para a defesa e a independência tecnológica do Brasil. Se por um lado promove um notável avanço científico no país, por outro, ajudam a melhorar a saúde e a qualidade de vida dos brasileiros.
A inovação está no DNA da AMAZUL, uma empresa singular que demonstra em cada atividade e em cada projeto a razão de sua existência e o compromisso de entregar resultados ao cidadão. A AMAZUL, Amazônia Azul Tecnologias de Defesa SA. Tecnologia nacional, em benefício da sociedade.
This is for you. You who see how essential electricity is to people's lives every day. You who understand how we must reduce our CO2 emissions now. You who know that nuclear energy is a powerful source of low-carbon electricity. It is also an industry that demands unparalleled levels of safety and security. Yes, this is for you. You who know that for over 60 years, we have been designing and building nuclear steam supply systems. We have been developing and manufacturing components and fuel assemblies for all the major electrical utilities in the world. We have been delivering the heavy and mobile components needed for the nuclear island, as well as the instrumentation and control solutions. That we provide the maintenance and engineering services for more than 250 nuclear reactors around the world, and that we are participating in the construction of new reactors in France, China, Finland, and the United Kingdom. So yes, this is all for you. You who trust in the expertise, the experience, and the commitment of our 14,000 employees. Whether you be an electrical utility customer, engineer, new graduate, or simply a consumer of energy anywhere in the world, this film is for you, for each and every one of you, because you believe in nuclear energy, because you trust Framatome, because every day we are committed to serving our customers and working for energy that is competitive, reliable, and safe.
Amazônia Azul, tecnologia